Family of Light by Barbara Marciniak. Chapter 13. The Finest Hour. Perhaps by now you have concluded that this journey may not end. The pages you find yourself turning may turn you around to the beginning, because the end and the beginning are always most intimately connected. In your journeyings, you may find that in the end you arrive where you started, so as to know that place once again from a different point of view. This, of course, has a purpose. You have a saying in your world, history repeats itself. Any form of consciousness would continue to repeat its experience because it either so enjoyed what it was doing and sought out the experience again, or it wanted to learn something new from the same experience, or the consciousness was so unaware of what it was doing that it did not realize it was repeating itself. As journeyers, travelers, and mystery seekers, we ask you to follow our words and listen to these last few messages, and at the same time to consider very clearly all that we share. Shift your conscious mind and feel a mist, moist, wet, warm, and ephemeral, swirling in the landscape around you. We ask you to step boldly into the mist, into a place of mystery where you can see nothing at all, yet you feel the enormous spaciousness. This in itself is a mystery, to be so enclosed and to see nothing around you, and yet to feel more expanded than you ever have before. This is a special trick of this special mist, you know. Mists have been equated with mysteries. They are one and the same in the old language of your world. So step into the mist, into the mystery that has been awaiting you, into the enigmatic, the paradoxical, and certainly occasionally puzzling energies and information you are now required to contemplate. In the mist, in the mystery, as you continue to feel it swirling around you, you find yourself mysteriously moving forward. You feel a sense of unconditional trust, as a force gently compels you onward. Uncertain of the terrain and totally unaware of your surroundings, in fact, you still continue to move along, and eventually a vague shape appears in the distance. You are drawn to this form, and notice that it emits a light that changes color, but the light itself is so subtle it's difficult to pinpoint. You keep moving through the mist. You are still enveloped, and now you feel your body dissolving into the mist and becoming one with this mysterious mist. And now you are using the mist to travel into what the mist knows. for the mysterious mist exists between you and the other dimensions. That glowing shape you saw in the distance is now changing its light and continues to draw you farther forward into what looks like a vaulted cavern. Yes, there are pillars and steps, and although you have wandered in the mist as the mist for quite a while, you wonder how you found your way to this place. And as the mist begins to dissipate, to swirl around and rise upward, you see that your body has rematerialized, and right in front of you, in the middle of this huge cavern, lies a table of immense proportions. Once again, you feel compelled to move forward as you step towards the table. A sense of majesty, excitement, and electrifying intelligence suddenly envelops you, and you now sense that the entire atmosphere in this cavern is electrically charged. In front of this imposing table are steps lined with a rich, opulent red carpet that is so soft underneath your bare feet. 8 steps lead you upward to the tabletop, and there you find an open book of colossal and astounding proportions. The book's energy draws you to its enormous size, and you now find yourself stepping up onto the book itself to see the top left-hand column, and you climb right on, and now you perch yourself in a comfortable position, and you notice that you are entering into the Book of Earth, and whatever line of time you think of, you find yourself in, and you allow the probabilities of that location to teach you about it. You are now able to access the Book of Earth at any time that you concentrate properly. So feel free to thumb through its pages by simply relaxing and focusing and thinking of a various time frame or some structure in your planetary history that interests or influences you, or some place where you would just like to go have a peek. Using your naturally inbuilt multidimensional perspectives, go deeper into any timeline you choose and watch it unfold while we tell you about another line of time. In another line of time and dimension, on their own journey, spheres of light are traversing what you would call the universe. You still exist on Earth, a small planet in part of one solar system, in part of a galaxy And yet these spheres of light are part of a much greater universe. You know of this universe, but as of yet, you cannot go there. These spheres of light can and do go anywhere, and they are in search of something. Organic in nature, these spheres of light actually house and protect consciousnesses within them. And these consciousnesses are thousands and thousands of time jumpers. The spheres travel through the universe looking for specific times of the legends of light. They search to find the sections of the pages in the grand book of existence where the legends of light and the legendary humans came into being. They flick and flitter through pages of the book of existence, and they finally find the page which is about your universe, and they sit now on its pages as you are sitting in a similar fashion on the book of Earth. They excitedly converse among themselves as they pursue coordinate points, and they too have their own mysterious mist that they pass through to learn the secrets of those points in time of which they seek. They have a way of reading space and reading the mist that is slightly different from the way you are able to read it at this time. They can read the ethers multidimensionally, and they can merge their spiritual molecules around any molecules of tyranny that may exist to seek out the tyranny's basic source and imprint, and understand the tyranny's secret frequencies. And have you noticed, dear soul, by the way, that the word tyranny is a derivative of Tyrannosaurus Rex? Just a little something to think about. And these organic, spiritual, spherical beings, these travelers, come from a number of different systems. They are a time-jumping confederation of sorts, an official expedition through existence, time-jumping to find the exact time and place where the legends are first born. They enter and watch and participate, and they have journeyed far and under many, many conditions that would be beyond the comprehension of those of you who simply understand the Book of Earth. And as you read through sections of pages of the Book of Earth, understand that your book is a small section of the Book of Existence that these spheres are now flipping through as well. The lines of time you seek to understand indeed precede the moments in which you have lived consciously, but lines of time also exist from origination points in the future. And it is these spheres of light, these organic spiritual balls of beingness that come from all different times and places. They are a confederation that seeks to be in the right time and the right place where your myths were birthed and made. And as you skim and scan the pages of your book, you might come to feel that there was a message sent out from a certain time and place, a timeline and a vibration brought about by certain situations that were able to reach through the dimensions and ring a little bell that these organic spiritual spheres heard from so far away. They heard it, but they could not see it. And they know it exists in a fleeting moment, a brief nanosecond. It is not so easily found. Yet, since all time exists simultaneously, and there are innumerable loops that can be replayed again and again, these spherical travelers, on one hand, have forever to find this fleeting moment, with 2012 at the epicenter. On the other hand, they understand that the longer they wait, the more that fleeting moment can be redone by others, or perhaps those within the fleeting moment will alter it entirely. These spherical travelers were raised on the legends of the omniverse, and in the worlds in which they developed, the stories they learned of the legendary humans at this point in time were about a genetic experiment. They feel they know all about genetic experiments, and that genetic experiments are tricky indeed, but incredibly common and therefore quite predictable. However, the lines of time and time jumping is quite unpredictable, extraordinarily so. And of course, depending on the venue or density, all kinds of karmic ramifications and mysteries can occur. In the densest density of all, it is extremely slow and difficult to operate, and yet in the search for all-knowing, if one wants to become all-knowing, one must experience and know all things. So these cosmic searchers search, and in finding the correct coordinate points, they are ready to transmutate themselves so as to enter and participate in the big show. Some of them remain behind to watch and give advice and add support spiritually holding hands and lighting the way. And it is in this watching, each one of the watchers represents a different intention and a different species and a different point of view. Each one understands that, according to the legends, a new frequency is being produced that has never been heard before, and it is occurring as a direct result of the newly randomized chaotic forces which are occurring here on planet Earth, which, of course, all the participants understand is a perfectly natural fractal of potentiality. Plans within plans within plans are actually based on chaos, and this new form of chaos that has created itself can be interpreted according to the various points of view or the levels of truth and understanding of the participants and the observers. And that is the richness, the multidimensional wealth of chaos, which is thought to be one of the sweetest elixirs within unconditional love's retinue of existence. Sweet chaos. So it is that these time jumpers do not really want to negatively affect the chaos or positively nudge it too far in any one direction, and yet they do not want to be taken over by any darkness that is unnecessary. But these ambassadors of the spheres carry a number of legendary cosmic beings, family members of multidimensionality, the royalty of the snake clans, and the kings and queens of the dragon line, who come to participate in the massive healing that is taking place. They are here to receive the healing frequencies, the likes of which they have never experienced before, in order to see and feel if the legends are actually true. In their times, the legends of the humans producing this healing frequency are so ancient, they wonder if they even have the story right. Additionally, because of events that have transpired on their worlds and many others, and because certain books have been lost or changed, and so many generations have elapsed, they decided to mount an expedition requiring a great deal of cooperation. This expedition is to journey through time and the multiverse to invest in discovering an ancient fleeting moment. They want to see if the legends are real, and if they can find that special place tucked away on a tiny little planet in a small arm of the Milky Way in a fleeting moment of time, the focal point pointed out by the Intergalactic Multidimensional Maya as being December 21st, 2012, when human beings went from the heavy, heavy density of 3D to the light, soaring vibrations of 5D by transmuting fear into love to experience something that, even as they spoke these words and listened to them themselves, these celestial beings had no idea of exactly what they felt like. That in itself is the richness of the human brand of chaos, and through this cosmic chaos they would produce their ultimate gift to the omniverse. And it is only by creating chaos and surfing through it on top that this new vibration can be achieved. And so the watchers, the visitors, the ambassadors have traveled through their book, and they have traveled into yours. After having heard the distress call, they were finally able to locate the time and the place in order to respond by sending many waves of volunteers to raise the vibration and create the healing elixir of the ages. So it was prophesied billions of years ago. Family of light, afterward. We trust that our work is appropriate. It is timely indeed and delivered with great love and a sense of great purpose. We appreciate all of you who have listened so far and hope you read the actual books themselves. And we hope that you are now inspired to illustrate your own pages of the Book of Earth with a greater sense of creativity, with greater tools than you've ever had, with greater wit and wisdom, to embody a renowned splendor where you truly live as the legends created within light that you are. This is our intent in the delivery of this work, and it is our immense pleasure to participate in the restructuring of existence. Family of light, about the author. The Pleiadians are a collective of extraterrestrials from the star system, the Pleiades. They have been speaking through Barbara Marciniak since May 18th, 1988, a day called Stabilizing Gaia on the Mayan calendar, as interpreted through crispy matters of Mayan embodiment. The Pleiadian teachings can be likened to those of shamanism, the ancient body of energetic knowledge that has served as intermediary between the realms of the physical and the spiritual, leading people to self-discovery in the worlds of paradox, paradigm shifting, and spirituality. Barbara Marciniak is called a reflecting solar chief in Mayan embodiment terminology, and is an internationally acclaimed trance channel, an inspirational speaker, an editor, and author who lives in North Carolina. On that day in 1988, she began channeling in Athens, Greece, at the conclusion of a 3-week journey through Egypt and Greece. On this trip, Barbara was impulsed to re-experience specific temples and power sites in this lifetime. The Great Pyramid at Giza, the temples along the Nile, the Acropolis in Athens, and Delphi. Since that time, Barbara has conducted class sessions and workshops throughout the United States and has facilitated tours to sacred power sites in Great Britain, Peru, Bolivia, Mexico, Egypt, Greece, Bali, and Australia. She feels that the sacred sites themselves are connections to energy vortexes that hold knowledge of the higher mind, the higher idea that Earth is presently seeking to recreate and reconnect with. Her travels, astrological studies, and a lifetime of alternative and free thinking augment her insight and understanding of the material she channels. Barbara feels that her experience with the Pleiadians has been a gift of priceless value, connecting her with opportunities for personal, global, and cosmic transformation. And for this, she holds unconditional gratitude.